Welcome to episode 345 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton, and as always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Good morning, once again.
I didn't realize it was 345 until I said it.
345.
And we almost had to start over.
It's a good little roll of numbers, huh?
Yeah, it blew my mind so hard we almost had to restart the whole show.
We thought about it.
Yep.
Thought about it.
There's a longer than normal pause in that intro because my mind was blown.
That's what happens.
I kept thinking 345, which doesn't mean anything.
And instead you said it 345 and you were like, whoa.
Light bulb.
Yep.
I just counted.
I did math.
Mm-hmm. Math is hard.
Math is hard.
But I nailed it.
Math is actually a campaign slogan for one of the presidential candidates, for those of you that don't know.
Math is hard?
Just math.
Oh, okay. Just math.
Let's make America think harder.
I've got allergies. That's how I feel about that slogan.
That's right up there. That matters. Yeah, mm-hmm. I see that. It's a natural transition.
Yeah, well, I'm voting for the candidate that does away with allergies, so. Right. If you want to know how to get my vote, figure out Pollen, you know. We all have needs, and that's the one that I need.
That's the one you're going for. Got it. That's your major issue. That's your policy issue that you're most concerned with.
Yeah, if I had a platform, I'd be like, I know that you guys have a lot going on, but what do you plan to do for ragweed and pollen?
Yeah, you should be a journalist.
Yeah, can you give me your thoughts on ragweed? I'll wait.
Now, do you have concern with peanuts as well? Peanuts and oranges, or is it just ragweed that you're concerned about?
I don't have any food allergies. I am, however, allergic to everything that exists in the natural world that's not a food allergy.
Well, the thing is you would have a much better chance of moving that platform, that policy forward, if you were to. You need to form a coalition with peanut allergies, bee sting allergies, all of those allergies. You need to form a coalition.
Where you're missing the point is you only go after the thing you care about.
No, yeah, but
you don't even expand it. You make it only about you.
But then it doesn't get done.
You make it only about you. That's how we do things. That's how we don't get things done. We make it only about you.
Right, but I prefer to get things done. I'm a get doner there.
Get doner.
I'm a get doner.
I'm a getter doner. I don't have time for punks that can't eat peanuts. You know what I'm saying? This is about airborne allergens. Animal dander, mold and mildew, dust, pollen. Look, he's got everything.
Well, what you need to do is you need to find a way to fold that into the whole climate change debate then.
You see, animal scratches, that's an interesting one. I have a cat, and if she pokes me, it looks like a tick bite, like it'll swell up.
See, so you're allergic to animal scratches as well.
Yeah. Latex, not allergic to latex. Poisonous plants, very allergic to poisonous plants. Animal scratches, yes. Pollen, yes. Bee sting, no. Medication, no. Nuts and shellfish, no. Pollen, yes. Dust, yes. Mold and mildew, yes. Animal dander, yes.
See, I'm just allergic to some forms of pollen. That's the only allergy I have. That I know of, I should say.
Do you think you are a stronger human?
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay. What causes my weak immune system to not be able to handle?
Oh, there's so many. I mean, part of it would be probably genetics.
Yeah.
Other than that, other than genetics, I don't know. Maybe how often you've been around it. That doesn't make sense though, because you grew up in that area. You shouldn't be allergic to that stuff if you were around it all the time.
Yeah, shouldn't.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're just weak-willed.
Is that? I mean, I don't even know how you control. Like, what if you're like, I'm just not going to be allergic today?
I don't know how it works. It's just a thought. You asked. I'm just throwing out ideas here.
Now, pretty much the only time I ever complain about my allergies is on this show. And I don't point it out to be a whiner. I point it out because I feel like sometimes my voice sounds drastically different.
Sometimes it can affect the way your sound comes across.
And I don't want people to think that I am modulating to sound a different way.
Gotcha. Because you're not.
No,
you're just allergic.
Various levels of congestion is what's happening.
Got it.
Also, this morning when I woke up, my right nostril was whistling. And I thought that if this didn't go away, it wouldn't play good on the show.
It wouldn't. The whistle wouldn't be nice.
Right. But I am a mouth breather, so most of the time it wouldn't be a problem. But sometimes I'll switch over to make sure the nose still works. And I could have whistled a ditty on it.
Cool.
Producer Gerald's decided I'm weak.
Okay. That's fine.
Seems unfair.
I don't know that you're weak as a person. You may be a little weak-willed when it comes to your allergies. You'll never be a Green Lantern, let's put it that way.
That's okay.
I know you're cool with it. I get that. Yeah. So that's cool. That wasn't an aspiration you had anyway.
No, so. Like if that's what I can't do in life, it'll be okay. Like I think I'm going to be all right.
You'll be fine. Don't worry.
Now, let me tell you who I don't have time for. The people who are like, I'm allergic to grass, so I can't mow the yard.
Oh, yeah. No, you still have to. Just because you're allergic to something doesn't mean you don't still have to.
It's not a free pass.
Right. You still have to live life. Although I get poison. Like, I am allergic to poison ivy.
Me
very,
too.
very, very, very badly. So. And growing up, I had a wood stove, so we had to cut wood. And that's how we found out that I was very, very allergic to poison ivy. So I do, not do those kinds of things. I don't have a wood-burning stove, so it really doesn't matter at this point. But it was, my parents did not want me to go out and do wood because they did not want me, cut down the trees and load it up on the wagon and stuff because they didn't want to then have to take me to the hospital for shots.
But you would have done it still.
I would have tried not to.
Right.
Though, because I'm generally not a fan of work in general. So if I can get out of it, cool. But if they would have if you don't do wood, you're going to be grounded, then obviously, okay, I'm going to do wood then because I don't want to be grounded. So
I keep poison ivy pretty much year round in the summer. Oh, half a year round, I guess. The warm months, I have poison ivy.
Really, all the time?
Pretty much.
So you're allergic to it, but not you get it, basically, right?
Right. So, but here's where my strength comes in. I think I've actually had it so many times in my life that it doesn't, I used to be so bad. I always had to go get a shot when I would get it.
Yeah.
I've now programmed my body to just allow it to be in the spot that it gets, and it doesn't spread ever.
Well, why can't you do that with pollen, then?
I don't know. I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it. I get poison ivy. Let me tell you the correct method for this, and everyone who knows what they're talking about will tell me I'm out of my mind and shouldn't do this. If you're someone who gets poison ivy, oak, sumac, when you have encountered the item.
Mm-hmm.
So before I show any visible signs, I understand I have it.
Yes.
It's just a feeling. And I can almost tell you where it's going to pop up at before I actually get it.
Okay.
So the move is I feel it. I take clear nail polish. I put it over the area where I know that it's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, totally dried out, never goes anywhere.
That is a good idea. You're right. That doctors will frown on that. Professionals will frown upon that method, but
yeah, because they want that $100 copay. But I know what's up.
Right? Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
I don't know if you should put nail polish all over your body.
Probably not cover yourself in. I mean, in spots to dry it out, it's probably fine. But
yeah,
yes.
Because I don't get it all over. It's usually I haven't had a spot bigger than a pencil eraser probably in the last 10 years.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah, but I used to get it all over.
Yeah. No, if I get it for it. The area immediately swells. I've had it so bad before that my eyes have swollen shut and got crusty.
I used to always get it, no matter where I would get it, I would always have it on my hands, and my hands would be like gloves almost. But now I'm a man, and it doesn't spread.
Thanks to the nail polish.
I don't know if it's that trick or if, because that wasn't something I could have done when I was younger because I would get it everywhere, immediately. There is something different in the way that my body now handles it. But I've probably had it, I'm not trying to exaggerate. I'm in my 30s. I've probably had poison ivy 1,000 times.
Well, yeah. Well, part of it is as you get older too, and you go through hormonal changes and those kinds of things. Yeah. Those probably affect it too.
I mean, I have it on my leg right now.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
But it probably affects how badly you get it. Once you you got puberty, and then I think when you hit 20, once your brain is fully developed at like 24 or 25, I think there's other changes that occur hormonally and things like that. So the body's in a constant state of flux. So I would imagine that affects how you react to certain allergens as well.
Now, let me tell you the unacceptable part.
Okay.
As a 30-something who's had poison ivy or oak or whatever at least 1,000 times, I still have no idea what it looks like. Unacceptable, right?
A little bit.
Here's the thing, though. I'm going to get it, so I don't actively need to avoid it. Because if I step outside,
but if you avoided it, you wouldn't get it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's literally how that works.
Now, let me tell you that
it's not airborne. You can only get it by coming in contact.
If I'm doing yard work, I'm going to get it.
Well, okay, that's fair.
And let me tell you the rule I've always heard.
Sure.
Leaves in 3, let it be.
Yes.
But if you'll see there, poison sumac has nothing to do with 3 in that picture that producer Gerald's got pulled up.
It doesn't. You're absolutely
I don't think
correct.
we really have sumac. I think poison ivy and oak are what we really
are the big ones
here.
Around there. Yeah, we do have sumac up here.
Is there...
I'm sorry? What's that, Producer Gerald? Sumac? Oh yeah.
Dan keeps it.
Yeah. Remember? That's what I was talking about when my face explodes.
Yeah, he gets it all the time. Gerald's never had it. Some people can pull it up out of the ground and eat it.
Yeah, and some people can. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't try it.
No. Nope.
Because you don't want it on your lips for sure, or your butthole.
Or your throat.
I don't know if you can get it inside the body. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you can.
But I will if I walk outside to do a outside thing that's not stand in place, I will get it.
Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, so I keep it, but like I said, it's very, it's minimally invasive. It doesn't really bother me.
Well, that's good.
But I should probably know what it looks like.
I haven't tested it, to be honest with you, and I don't want to. So,
is there a difference between the way like a breakout looks with ivy, sumac, or oak?
They're
thing?
Actually very, very similar. A lot of it just comes down to how allergic you are to which one, really.
I would say holly to all 3, but I don't know.
You know, they all look like hives, essentially.
Yeah.
Some form of hives.
Or like you got 1,000 mosquito bites in one spot.
And a lot of it depends on, because a lot of times what happens with all of them is you start like itching and scratching and spreading it before it's even out, before you can really even see it really well. So who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. This is IvyCast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look identical.
They all look very similar according
pictures
to...
are gross too. I don't like the pictures. Some people look like they grabbed a leaf and just rubbed it all over themselves.
Well, because there are different forms of
weakness.
Yes, some people are more allergic to it than others.
Yeah, if I'm weak to pollen, it's on her neck and face.
Ooh, that's bad. I've had that. Yeah.
Oh, yikes! I never got it to that degree, but I would get it all over my hands really bad.
I have got it that bad.
I'd probably take myself out behind the barn if I had it like that, because that looks bad.
No, you just get to get steroid shots, which is a lot of fun.
They said that's what they gave me for my hands too.
Because that's a rather large needle, in case anyone didn't know.
Mm-hmm. I like a big needle, though.
And if you don't like needles, you're...
like a big fat needle.
You're going to want to know your poisons.
Speaking of knowing your poisons, I played more Farm Together. You like that?
Yeah.
Smooth. I like that game a lot. It's turned into like a mobile app to me, where I just open it, do what I have to do, and then log out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much Gerald with it.
I've seen you on quite a bit.
Yeah, I treat it like he treats his free-to-play stuff. I'm like, do my thing out. And that's how I start I turn my PS4 on, I get on, I do that. 10 minutes later, I'm done with it.
So you have a whole routine.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like that. Played a little bit of Rocket League this week. Didn't go so hot.
No, had a bad week?
Had a bad week. Played Everybody's Golf. Game's still fantastic. I'm upset I missed a tournament where I could have won a panda suit, and I like my bear suits in that game.
Did you play it regular or in VR?
Regular.
Okay.
I played with Howard, and there's no multiplayer in the VR.
Gotcha.
He also doesn't own it. The two hurdles we had right there.
Yes. So what'd you do? Share play?
No, we just played regular because VR is a separate game.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So he doesn't own it. Yeah. Okay. Trying to think. I think that was it, and then we did play VR. I played Firewall twice this week.
Did you get the new pack?
Yeah. So the new stuff is out. I didn't buy anything. Let me tell you where I'm at with that game.
All right.
I love Firewall. Yeah. I want to give them my money, but the game is still broken.
Server issues still?
Yes, and just like problems of partying up and connecting and staying connected. So we got on, and the new pack is Dark Web is the new pack, Operation Dark Web. So I got on, and I'm like, let me give them my money. I want to make this game better. I want to give them my money.
Okay.
So I look at the pack, right? It's $10.
Yes.
But for that $10, you get 2 operators, and then you can unlock the premium items in like a battle pass type situation.
Yep.
Well, the characters are $4 each if you buy them after the pack finishes. So you're paying basically $2 for the pack.
Okay.
Which is fine. The $10 is fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. So I told Howard, I'm going to spend the money. I'm going to give them my money. He's like, okay, the game's good. I get it.
Yeah, it's your money.
I invite him.
Do what you want.
Then I invite him to a party. He can't join. I invite him again. He can't join. I invite him again. It finally lets him in. I hit the search button, backs out to the menu, kicks him out.
Yeah.
He then invites me to a party, which I can't accept. I then restart my whole game, trying to navigate the PlayStation menu with a fucking gun. Load the game back up, go in, invite him. He still can't join. He then has to close his game, navigate the menus with a gun, come back in. I invited him. He still can't join. He invited me. It finally let us join. We get into the very first match, and the host migrates, and it backs us out. And I was like, fuck it, they can't have my money.
Not giving them the money anymore. I get it.
Then for the rest of that night, we had a glorious time.
Playing Firewall?
Yes. Get on last night. I'm going to give them my money. Same shit. We have to quit, back out, all that stuff to get in a party. Can't have my money.
Yep.
I've got $10 burning a hole in my pocket that I want to give them. But I am not right now. I do not believe that $10 is going to go towards fixing the problems because these problems have been going on since launch.
And they have not been fixed.
And they're taking money from people.
Yes.
And I don't have a problem with them taking money. I just need
the money to go to the right place.
Make the experience good and then add the new levels and stuff. Having said that, I think Newsroom is a cool level. They have put all their levels out for free. It obviously takes place in like a newsroom. So you've got like your sets and your stages as well as like all the server rooms and offices and stuff. It's cool. The 2 new contractors both seem okay. I just so badly want to give them my money, but it really needs to get better.
I understand that.
Yeah, the first unlock, which I unlocked last night. It's actually it might be week 2, week 1. I don't know which week it is. They're in week 2 of this pack, but it's the salty camo and it's a blue camo that has salt shakers all over it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which I'm kind of into.
Which you like.
And I would get it immediately if I gave them the money. But I think I need a stable experience before I'll do it.
Before you give them the money. Yeah.
Invite, accept it, and play all night.
Right. That's how it needs to go. You don't need to spend half an hour fighting to party up, and then try to play and stay in a match.
Exactly.
That's the biggest problem with that game is if you get in, you pretty much have to play with the same people all night. Both versus and whoever's on your team. Because if someone leaves, you're fucked.
If the host leaves, you're screwed.
You're super screwed.
I will say there seems to be a large community still. We had no problem finding people. The problem is just the host is still actually hosting.
Right.
So it is, if they back out, everyone's done.
Good times. Is that all you played?
Yeah. And we played quite a bit of that. I mean, I think, let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, we basically played 8 hours of that in the last 2 days.
Wow.
So I don't want it to seem like it's not working. It is working. It's just, it's like getting the VR out, getting it set up is already a pain for me for some reason.
Yeah. I hear you.
But then it not working also. Producer Gerald just pulled that up. I forgot. I played No Man's Sky VR also.
And how was that?
Well,
interesting. You forgot, so it couldn't have been that great.
Well, so almost identical. It was a giant pain in the ass for us to get together. The three of us tried to play. Me, Howard, and Patman. We were all in the same world, couldn't see each other. We had to keep inviting each other, leaving, inviting each other. We played for about 2 hours, and we were together for about 10 minutes.
Oh, that sucks.
The VR stuff is cool. I played with Move controllers. I found it to be very hard to navigate on the ground with Move controllers. It does teleport, but as far as jetpack and stuff, it's weird. Your jetpack button and your turn button are on the same Move controller, so you have to jetpack, then let off to tap the direction, and then hit it again quickly before you fall.
Ooh.
They do have a smooth move, which might make things easier. I don't know. I just I don't think that VR is the best way to play that game, probably. But if you own that game and you own VR, you should once
check it out.
Start on a planet, fly up to space, and then fly back down to the planet, because that was damn cool. When you're entering the atmosphere and your whole ship is like flame shooting on it, and you're sitting inside the cockpit, it's crazy.
That's cool.
To get out, you also grab the handles of your spaceship and you open them, which is cool. And the thing that No Man's Sky didn't convey that I think it always wanted to is scale, and you really feel how big these ships are.
Okay.
When you're standing next to them, you're like, these bastards are huge. They feel so much bigger than they ever did playing it before.
That's cool.
That game is complicated. The Move controller doesn't have the buttons in the right places, and I don't remember how to play the game. So on top of being confused and it being hard to navigate, I don't remember what to do.
Now, do you think it would be easier to play in VR if you played with the regular Sony controller?
I think so, but I think that pulls you out.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way. I know for some people it does, you in particular. But
yeah, you lose individual movement of your hands.
Right.
Which I think is kind of what makes it
different, unique.
What like pulls me in more. I know it's not me, but I'm pulled in more when it's like my hands. And you lose that here, so.
Fair enough.
But I think everyone should do it once. If I was going to play No Man's Sky from here on out, I probably wouldn't play it in VR. Which is weird, because I thought that would be the game that I would love in VR. It also, it doesn't look as nearly as good in VR.
Right.
It's pretty rough.
Which kind of expected, and we're actually told by numerous sources.
It's worse than I was expecting.
Oh, really?
It especially the ground, it does not look good.
Huh.
So, yep, a lot of VR this week. I'm happy to be back in VR. I may even play a little VR tonight, too. I don't know.
All right. Well, it's been a light week for me. All I did, well, I say light as far as I haven't played late like you guys have. But probably 3-4 days this week I did get in and I played Wolfenstein Youngblood.
So light in the multiplayer, but not light in the plan.
Yes. And well, when I'm getting on, I'm playing for an hour or two at a time too. So, whereas I'm not playing for 2-4 hours at a time. So while I've gotten in some game time this week, it hasn't been for long periods of time. So, but I really like Youngblood. It does do something a little different. but it constantly offers up different things to do, which I like, and which I think they have to do considering, how small the maps are because of the traversal and retraversal.
Right.
But, a new action will pop up for something to do, and a new spot on that opens. So a lot of it's locked behind your level. So once this pops up, once you hit this level, this action mission pops up, and you can now access this place. So it even though it's a small map, it does keep constantly offering you new things to see and get into.
There's a lot of to and fro.
There is a lot of to and fro, but they do a good job. What that does is that allows you to constantly level up. And it is one of those situations that are usually pretty annoying, but not so much in this case because it's not overwhelming. But when you leave an area and come back to that area, the enemies respawn. But in that they don't seem to... Like, if you're just using that area as to get to the next area, the game seems to do a good job of just putting those enemies in your way regardless of your level. It's when you go to that area for a specific reason, like you're going there for one of the objectives, when they tend to level up the enemies to meet you. So it really does do a pretty good job of that.
It's not a full price game either, right?
No, it was like $30.
Okay. Is it digital only? Do you know?
I don't believe it's digital only.
Okay.
I believe. And you can get a deluxe edition, which basically gives you like a new suit, but it gives you a basically free pass to give to somebody to play with you who doesn't own the game.
Yeah, it looks like it's physical as well.
So that you can play it, it's meant to be co-op. It's how it was actually designed. The AI does a really good job with the AI character, but
so it gives you a free code for someone else to play.
Yes, it gives you a free code for someone else to play, but they can only play
with
way
you
out style when you're playing.
Yeah, a way out style.
Yes.
Which we still need to play.
We do still need to play that.
So that's it. Just a little Youngblood.
Yeah, that's it. Just Youngblood. I like it. It's good. It's the mess, and everything's short enough that I can get something done in an hour and a half, which is kind of where I'm at right now with my playtime.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. It's not just wandering around for an hour to do one stupid thing and now I got to get off.
Right.
So it's really filling the what I need right now.
Producer Gerald still working his way through Fallout 76. I want to play more 76. I'll tell you the mistake I made is I played some VR. VR is like that X that you never got over.
Mm-hmm.
For me. You get back in, you're like, I still love this thing. I don't even know why I quit. Then you realize you're ignoring every other game, and you're like, we're done again.
Yep.
And then you see the VR at a party again, looking fine.
And for I don't know, it's weird, but I have it right here. I have it on a stand. All I have to do is unplug one thing and plug one thing up. It seems like such a hassle to have to do it.
Yeah, I get in the same vibe. That's why I think it's so frustrating when those games don't work, when you're trying to multiplayer, because you're like, damn, I just hooked up this 2 cords.
Right.
I mean, what's happening?
And it's not a lot, but man, it feels like there's so much you have to do.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, there's something about it for me. Like yesterday, so we played yesterday, and then all day, he told me he may not play last night, and all day, all I could think about was playing VR, so I decided to play on my own. And then he shot me a text and said, are you on? And I said, about to be on in VR. And I didn't think he was going to get on because he went to a Joe Diffie concert, which take that for what it is.
He's not dead?
No, but he said he sounded like he was.
Oh.
But he jumped in and after the same pain in the ass stuff to get set up, we played all night. And we played with that game, whew. There is a clear divide on the players who play that game.
Oh, yeah?
They are like developer quality, or I just bought it today.
Where are you, Phil?
Probably I bought it today, but I'm less hard on myself. So, well, this is what I was telling him. I feel like most of the time, our teammates aren't disappointed in us. So we're not great, but most of the time I feel like they're not disappointed in us.
Okay.
I played like garbage last night, but Howard played pretty good last night. The night before, I felt like I played pretty okay.
I'll tell you what. I think it was one of my best, most favorite gaming experiences of my existence was a night. I think it was you, me, Marshall 205, and Producer Gerald. Or if it wasn't Producer Gerald, it was Patman. I don't remember which one it was.
I think at one point we had 5 people trying to play.
But there was just 4 of us on a team.
Yeah.
And we ran that bitch for 3 hours, just mowing people over.
There's
winning
something
like every game. And we were all just so fluid that night, and nobody was like being left behind. Nobody was like not doing anything. We would constantly. I think it was me and I think it was Gerald.
Was it? Can you confirm, Gerald?
I think it was Producer Gerald, me, you,
yeah, he thinks
and Howard 205, and we played for like 3-4 hours, and we just ran everybody down.
Yeah. There's something special about that game when you're clicking.
We were all on point. We were all just running. It didn't matter which 2x2 went. Everybody fucking had their shit covered and did what they had to do. Man, that was a good night. That's one of my favorite gaming experiences of all time was that night, that 4 hours.
There's something still special about that game, even without a full team. Like, there was a couple times last night where him and I basically won the match.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to it. Like, that game's hitting the right notes for me. I will say they have changed the loadouts now. So the support loadout has signal jammers automatically. So everybody jams the laptop. There's like 4 jammers on every one. So I can't tell you how many matches you kill everybody, but you can't find all the jammers and you still lose. Like, defense is like really overpowered in that game. I don't know. I love it though. I would love to get all four of us in again.
It kind of has. It's not necessarily overpowered, but
it's bad.
If you get run down, I would
say half the matches that we won or lost were because of signal jammers last night.
Okay.
Because we win on it too, but it's like, and I think they did it this way because when you get in there with those teams of people that are great, you get just run through.
Just murdered.
But now there's another component that they have to hunt for things. But if you try hard enough, like I glitched the jammer out behind the chalkboard you can't get to, like there's no way for them to win.
Right.
Because I got lucky. I stood up, I held my gun up in one hand, and some just kept clicking the button and it put it back there. That sucks. Not for us, we got to win, but like it wasn't because of skill. We died immediately.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, they spent a minute looking for the signal jammers and couldn't find them.
Yeah, I get it.
That game's great. I'd love to get off a full party because so much of that game is about communication. So I would love to get everybody together. Probably going to play it more. I like it. Also, I'm still trying to decide. Like, if I could get on and have a good night, I'm probably going to give them $10 because it'll keep me playing that game.
That's all it's going to take.
If I buy the pass, it'll keep me playing. Where I'm at right now is if I unlock enough stuff through the weeks that I think it's worth it, I may just buy it at the end to get the stuff because if you pay, you get everything you've unlocked.
Right.
So I'll decide, but I really do want to support them because I really do like that game. I think that game is special.
They just need to do the right things with the money.
Yeah, I mean, for you to say that not just it's one of the best experiences you've had on PS4, but just in general, like that game is on to something. Like I don't want them to quit, and they've supported it great as far as content goes. But damn, they got to fix it.
Yeah, no doubt.
They got to fix it. Also, I desperately want them to give that game away on PlayStation Plus. Because I want it to have the biggest community it can have.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, cross-play that sucker out. Let's get everybody on here. Let's get Oculus on here. Let's get Vive on here. Let's get whatever the hell
Gear VR.
Gear. What's the one that Valve is doing?
Oh, I don't know. There's
That thing's got a weird name. Yeah, let's open it up. Let's get some folks playing this game. So we talked forever. We've talked for 35 minutes. We haven't even started the news. There's a ton of news.
Yeah.
We're going to try to roll through this. A lot happened with Gamescom 2019. I will briefly run down this list of some highlights. Stop me at any point.
Okay.
Just yell into the mic if you want me to hold up.
Will do.
Let's start with the Nintendo's Gamescom's Indie Showcase. So it looks like Ori and the Blind Forest is coming to Switch. Hotline Miami Collection is out now on Switch. It's probably cool. Super Hot's coming to Switch. It's out now. The Tourist is a cool looking indie game that they showed off, and Skater XL is coming out because people are clamoring for Skate 4, which still isn't happening.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a good option for them.
I'll tell you one thing that I understand why they're doing it, but one thing that is a little letting me down a little bit about Nintendo is the remaster aspect of things. Or this game to this. I mean, those are great, but do I need Super Hot, a 2-year-old game on the Switch?
Well, see, so I'll tell you what I think the key is here. This has nothing to do with Nintendo, and there's no way they should ever say no to more content. They're not putting their time and money into it.
I agree with that, but I don't know. I'm kind of over the remasters or re-releases of 2-3-year-old games. I'm kind of over that, and you alluded to that a little bit a couple weeks ago.
I mean, if people continue to vote with their wallet and not buy these games if they're tired of it, I think that it will calm down. But I think the Switch, like Hotline Miami, makes a lot of sense on the Switch. What's the other one there? I don't know about Super Hot, but
Ori
will be awesome on the Switch. Like, those are games that make sense on the Switch. And if you don't have another way to play them, like if you only had a Switch, if you didn't have an Xbox and you couldn't play Ori, like this may be your first chance to play Ori. And
yeah, that's true, but I just don't know that. Is there? I mean, we talked about it at length when we first talked about the Switch when it first came out. Is there anybody out there who doesn't that has just a Switch? I guess I don't know that. I
don't know either. There's probably a lot of people that have a Switch and a PS4 and not an Xbox.
We've always talked about it as a supplemental system. So
yeah. But if you only had a PS4 and a Switch, you still didn't have access to Ori till now.
Well, that's true.
So, who knows? But that's the kind of some highlights there. Then inside Xbox conference, Games Pass has got Devil May Cry 5 on there now. 2 new controllers were shown off. I think it's like a Night Ops camo and a Sport Blue.
Yes.
Which kind of looks slate gray, but I like both those controllers. I'm not big on camo. I just want to throw that out here.
I'm not either.
I don't want anyone to think we gave more love to PlayStation than Xbox, but they made a fucking purple one. So.
Fuck it. Yeah, no, fuck it.
Last time Xbox made a sort of purple one in the Sea of Thieves controller, I bought it. So
yeah, we lost our fucking minds about it.
Yeah, don't cry, fanboy, on me. PUBG is adding a crossplay for PS4 and Xbox One. Let's see. Don't care about that. Games Pass Ultimate, you can get 2 months for $2 right now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool too. Here's these controllers. I want you to take a look at them.
I've seen them.
I want to give. I know people are going to complain. You guys don't even care about Xbox controllers. Talk about Joy-Cons and DualShocks all the time.
You know what? I've said any number of times that I think that the Xbox controller is a superior controller.
That's false, but you can think that.
I've said that. You know I've said that. I think it's a superior controller. I think it feels more sturdy. I think that their fucking color choices aren't quite as good as Sony's.
Okay, now here I want to stop. I want to stop right here. That Sport Blue looks just like that Forza controller that I got like 6 years ago with mine. Step your damn game up, Xbox. I'll tell you why they can't go crazy, though, is because they have the design labs.
Yes, you're right.
You can make your own. If they give you too many options, there'd be no point to pay extra.
There'd be no point to that. You're right.
Yeah. Now, that could look better, though. That Sport Blue. Now, the Sport Red I'm into.
Yeah, you like the Sport Red?
That Sport Red, yeah. But that Sport Blue reminds me an awful lot of the Forza controller I have in there. You doing a side-by-side? You're trying to get
Make it happen.
Trying to get side-by-side. Maybe you can let us know if
Gerald.
Let me know if you think these controllers look the same. I think they do.
It's very similar.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking color. Obviously, that one's got some shit on the right side. This has got a line down the middle.
There's just some minor differences.
It's like
they're very similar controllers.
They had the plastic already ready.
And that color is the same.
Yeah. Step your damn game up.
Yeah, nothing super exciting came out of this. The thing about Gamescom is I really wasn't expecting anything life-changing or new or mind-blowing because that's just not how these things work anymore, unfortunately. We've talked about that a number of times, too. It's really, really hard to come out with anything new surprises or anything. It's just not a thing that happens anymore with the internet and so on and so forth. And everyone doing their own, little presentations. So, unfortunately, these things are kind of a letdown at this point because it's mostly stuff we knew. We might see something new about something we already are familiar with, but, like a new trailer for Gears 5, that's great. But we've been hearing about Gears 5 for a year and a half, 2 years. It's new, but not new.
Yeah. I agree. Let's keep on moving. Stadia had a Stadia Connect. Nothing really exciting here. Cyberpunk coming to Stadia, Samurai Showdown coming for Stadia, Mortal Kombat 11 coming for Stadia, and they showed off a new Doom Eternal trailer. Guess what, everybody? Most games are going to come to Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
I'm having some real problems with the Google Stadia situation. I watched the live stream on YouTube. Google owns YouTube. And the whole stream was skipping and buffering pretty much through the whole thing. It's just not a good look when streaming is what your whole presentation is supposed to be about.
Right.
You're having this much trouble streaming 720p video on a PC. What is that sticking in the back of my mind about how your games are going to be on a streaming service?
I'm sure the setup and presentation is different, and I will say, because I don't know, I watched someone else talk over the stream, and it looked very clear on that end. I don't know what the difference is. But either way, even if it's on your side, the problem is they're saying you can play 4K 60 with like 24 meg. So it'll be interesting to see how Stadia shakes out. But the announcements for Stadia come like every 3 months, and it reminds me that I pre-ordered one. I still feel fine about pre-ordering it. I'm still excited to check it out. I didn't buy this to change my life, but I think if they're going to get any steam behind this, they have to explain to people why it matters that you're playing this way.
I agree with you 100%. The biggest things we've heard from Google Stadia is we're getting this game, we're getting that game, we're getting the other game. That's great. That's expected at this point.
They need to focus on some of these next-gen things, like there should be no load time with the power that it has. There are no updates.
Right.
So they got to push that harder. But they have to, why is this a superior place to play? Does this look better than PC? Does it run smoother than PC? Sell me on why I would do this, because all the hands-on stuff I read is for some reason hot or cold. People are like, this will change gaming, or this did not work like they designed. Yeah, or like they said it was. Those are the only two impressions I ever read from anyone.
Google, to me, seems to be having a real hard time getting the message across of what Stadia is and can do for a person. And the unfortunate thing is that without a clear message about what Stadia is and how it's a benefit and how it's better and how it's the place to be, it comes off looking just like a gimmick. For all I know, this could be on live from what you've told me so far. This could be the Sega channel.
I think it's an easy sounding message that is maybe harder than most people, including myself, realize. I do think it's hard to explain what makes it better until it's actually out there for people to
But you've gotta put in some kind of effort to do so. You can't just keep throwing out games. I've seen all these games. That's great. You got them. So does this person. So does this console. So does this place. Why is your place the place to get it? I don't care so much that you have it. Why is it the place for me to get it?
I don't think they want everybody to get it day one. So I think they're going to rely on people to get it and then sing its praises. I hope that works.
Yeah, have you ever met the internet?
Yeah, but if it works, people like Google.
People do like Google.
If it works, I think it's like Apple. If they were to right now put out a console and it works, that thing would drive. People would drive it.
Yeah, like the Apple credit card.
Let me tell you about that credit card. Let's have a serious talk real quick. I applied for the credit card.
Of course you did.
I was cleared for the credit card.
Where are you going to store it?
I then requested the credit card. Well, my wallet is made in such a way that I have a spot that's pretty well protected. Is
your wallet made out of leather? Because they specifically wrote in their little rules of owning an Apple credit card that it cannot be up against leather. It cannot be near other credit cards.
So it can't be in leather where it moves. It's just a strap that goes across the front of mine. If it moves at all, it can wear. But here's the thing. That credit card is titanium. It's metal, like if you hold it. So the white finish will come off the front. It's still usable. What wears is how pretty it is. My bank card looks like shit. All the numbers that are raised up have totally worn down to where it's rubbed totally off. The plastic thing is peeled. The coating is peeled off of it. I mean, this card isn't going to look any worse than a normal debit card. The problem is how pretty this card is when you get it. Because this card is a thing of beauty.
Oh, okay.
It is amazing.
That's not what I need out of my credit card.
I mean, it does all kinds of stuff. I mean, they're not selling it based off the way it looks. I will say that's why I got it. But I mean, the tracking, things like that, some of that stuff's really neat. How granular you can see what they're going to charge in interest if you don't pay by certain dates, and how much it'll go up if you make this payment. I mean, they make it very clear to see what you're going to be paying, where I think in the past, a lot of credit card companies do their best to hide that from you.
Yeah, this is nothing I need.
But if you were going to get a credit card, I don't think this is a bad one, but it looks fucking awesome. It is super cool.
I'm not sold on how it looks. I'm not an Apple guy. I don't like Apple products.
It's just white with your name lasered etched in there and an Apple logo.
I don't. Yeah,
and the back has nothing but a strip on it.
Yeah, it's unnecessary for me.
Yeah, it's a cool looking card.
So how do I enter that? How do I enter that thing in manually?
So if you open the app, you can get to your numbers.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Super complicated. Yep. Moving on.
But also anywhere that takes Apple, it's no more complicated than looking on your card. You just look in the app instead.
That's more steps. Yeah, I
tap one thing.
I'm not into this thing. I'm glad you like it. I'm not into this thing.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sell you on it, but I do want to say that I really like the form factor of it. I was worried that it wouldn't fit in a machine, though. So I did use it yesterday, and it went in surprisingly well, because it feels thicker than a normal card. So I was afraid it wouldn't do the chip right, but it was all right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Lucky you.
Be interesting to see. I'm sure it'll make Apple even more money.
I'm sure. So, I'm not an Apple guy. I don't have a single Apple product in my house.
Can't get the card then. Not sure about that strategy, but they're only letting people with Apple phones get it right now.
Yeah,
I assume it's the tie-in with Apple Pay, because that's really the big selling point, is they want you to use Apple Pay for everything.
Right.
Which I do like Apple Pay. I would assume Samsung Pay is also pretty good. I think LG has one too, but
Samsung Pay does work pretty good.
Yeah, I just tap my phone a lot. I like that. These are kind of just wrap-up notes from Gamescom. The Witcher 3 port for Switch finally got a date in October. Death Stranding showed off a bunch of new trailers. That game still looks like whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Call of Duty has got an alpha test going on right now. Sony stealth launched Erica, which is a game we haven't seen since, I think, 2017. Live-action thriller. The co-creator of Halo shows off a game that looks like Halo, a lot like Halo.
Disintegration.
It's a team-based multiplayer. You watch the trailer, it really gives some Halo vibes.
Yeah, in a big way.
Yeah, Sega showed off Humankind, which kind of looks neat. Predator Hunting Grounds showed off a trailer. Remember, that's exclusive, I think, to PS4 and PC. Mm-hmm. Kerbal Space Program 2 was announced from Private Division, which is Rockstar's 2K's, not Rockstar, 2K's new label. So they showed off that. Remember, this game is being developed by someone different who developed the first game. Little Nightmares 2 is coming next year. They showed off a creepy first trailer for that. I'm super excited. I think that first game was excellent. They showed off another Need for Speed trailer no one cares about. And Gears 5 had a new trailer that you could take in.
Once again, not really anything new here. As much as The Witcher 3 being able to run on the Switch is huge, I'm not sure the Switch needed it. But I think that really does speak to what the Switch is able to do as far as performance goes, that maybe some people had some concerns about. Again, I'm not sure it's necessary, but I probably need to wait and see that proof of concept.
Right.
But from all accounts, it really does look and play well. So I think if that's all true, it really does speak to what the Switch can do.
Yeah. So it's kind of a quick...
as unnecessary as that game may be on the Switch.
I don't think that game will run very good. That's all the news for Gamescom. A lot there, a lot to unpack. We probably missed some stories, but it is a plethora of news of zero significance.
Yep, and it's all stuff that you knew already. Yeah, there's really nothing new that came out of any of this.
Now, Sony did make an announcement to coincide Gamescom that had nothing to do with Gamescom. They purchased Insomniac, or are purchasing Insomniac, which is... Look, Sony's tried to buy Insomniac before. There's rumors out there. There's reports out there. Lots of people have tried to buy Insomniac before. I'm sure the level of success that was seen with Spider-Man and the promises that Sony will let them do their thing the same way they do with Naughty Dog was enough to finally get them over the edge with this. Also, they probably had to back a dump truck full of money up.
Oh, yeah, a ton of money.
I'm seeing reports like $30 to $40 million that they're going to pay for this.
Yeah, it was like a lot of money.
Sony and Insomniac had a great relationship back in the day with Ratchet and Clank and Resistance, the Resistance series. Then they had a bit of a falling out. They left. They partnered with Microsoft to make Sunset Overdrive.
Yep.
So, and then they came back to Sony to make Spider-Man. They made Fuse, which did not do well, but that was probably an EA thing. But the crazy thing here is that now Sony now owns Sunset Overdrive, which is crazy because it's a Xbox exclusive. But the way I understand it is the publishing rights for Sunset Overdrive are completely locked down. So you probably aren't going to see that Sunset Overdrive unless Sony goes to Microsoft and asks and pays a lot of money. But I think there's a chance you get another Sunset Overdrive, and this one would be on PS4.
I think it's very telling that the big two, I guess you would call them, Sony and Microsoft. Every week we've got new news of somebody buying a studio.
Yeah, Microsoft has been on a spending spree.
Yep. And now it appears that Sony may be playing that same game. The funny thing is, I don't think this is going to lead to maximum exclusivity. I actually think you're going to see Microsoft and Sony start to play a little better with each other. Because they're going to have to in order to have any sort of library for either of their systems.
Yeah, I don't know. I do want to make in my opinion, I think it's much harder for Sony to add a studio than it is for Microsoft.
I agree with that.
Because Sony has some very heavy hitters.
Yep.
And I don't mean any disrespect, but I think it would be hard to exist in the Sony ecosystem as a garbage studio.
I did. Yeah, you're probably right.
You know, Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, Santa Monica, even like Japan Studio, like Sony London, like they crank out really good games.
They do.
Dreams is what it is, but I think it's well made. Media Molecule, you know, I think Sony has plans for that we haven't seen yet. But yeah, I think that first party is strong, whereas Microsoft is struggling to find its identity with first party.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's much easier to add pieces. Insomniac is the safest, smartest purchase that Sony could have made. I think there was a point where they really wanted to buy Quantic Dreams. I think David Cage is the problem and also the reason that Quantic Dreams is what it is. Mm-hmm. Without David Cage, you don't get those games. With David Cage, you open yourself up for controversy. Ted Price, who is still at Insomniac and still going to be at Insomniac, people like Ted Price. He doesn't cause drama. He doesn't really show himself very much.
He's safe.
They did send out a tweet that I thought was amazing because they said this is like a Homecoming.
Yep.
Which is a fun Spider-Man reference.
Spider-Man reference?
Spider-Man, really hot topic right now.
Yep. Speaking of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really hot topic right now.
Just Google Spider-Man Sony and you get all you need to know.
Yeah.
We won't go into it.
This is like two rich kids deciding who's going to be more rich.
Uh-huh.
And I don't care.
Yeah.
But I do want to ease some concerns that Marvel Games is very separate from the MCU or from the entertainment side as far as the movies and television goes.
Yes,
so this should have no impact on video games.
That's true.
You will get a Spider-Man 2 because there's a lot of money.
It's a completely different entity, essentially.
Yeah. What was it called? Yeah. It was PlayStation Spider. What was the name of it? Marvel's Spider-Man. That's
Marvel's
the name of that game?
Spider-Man.
That's a weird call out too. Tom Holland, he's got his Spidey-Man as his opening. Yeah. I'll have to change that to Nate Drake soon.
Yeah. Or not.
Here's a statement that came from Sony, more specifically came from Sean Layden, and I think people are way too excited and reading into this way too much.
Me too.
So I wanted to say my piece, you say your piece, and then we'll move on. This doesn't have to be a long story.
Nope.
But studio chairman Sean Layden spoke to Bloomberg about Sony's focus on exclusives, stating that they are an important part of the company's overall strategy. However, he said that there are certain titles, especially multiplayer titles, that could potentially receive a wider release than being kept on exclusive to PS4 or 5. I will just really quickly tell you that my thoughts are that he means PC here, and definitely maybe Switch, and definitely does not mean putting them on Xbox.
Probably not. You're not going to see everything doing this. I think these are going to be very similar. Very limited amount of titles that you're going to see do any kind of crossover that Sony actually owns. You're not. Just don't hold your breath waiting for some great.
So where I think it makes sense is I was just talking about Firewall.
Yeah,
Firewall should be everywhere that it could be. Again, that does not mean Xbox. There is no benefit for them to put their games on Xbox right now. You know, we talked a couple weeks ago that I think PlayStation is now a third of all of Sony's business.
Yeah.
It makes more than the movie side.
Yes, it does.
As long as it can continue to make that much money, they're not going to reach. They don't have to. So, I would tell people to maybe temper their expectations with this. If something shows up, great, but you're not going to see Last of Us 2 on Xbox Scarlet.
Yeah, no.
It's not going to happen. So it is what it is. Speaking of Tom Holland, speaking of the Uncharted movie, it lost another director, number 4 now. Dan Trachtenberg.
Yep.
Has announced that he is no longer part of the project. Sony is now pursuing another director Lucky number 5. They did say that Tom Holland is still attached to the project, though. Thank the Lord. We'd hate to lose him as well.
Oh, yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised if this thing gets canceled at some point.
So there's a couple other things that come out of this story. Sony has now taken it back over.
Yes.
So this will now be part of their PlayStation Productions, which is something we talked about several months ago. Mm-hmm. They're going to make their own content, much like Marvel and DC have done. They're going to take all their properties back in their own hands and take care of them from here on out. The other thing is that they seem hell-bent on making this.
Yeah, they do. I just... Man, it doesn't bode well when pre-production is this fucking all over the place, and to me, that's not a sign of anybody having any idea what the fuck is going on.
They seem absolutely hell-bent on making it, though.
Yeah, there's no organization. It's just like, hey, we're making this movie.
Yeah, it's strange. They it reminds me of a comment. I think Dead Island 2 it just hit its like fourth developer or whatever.
Yeah,
and I can't even remember who it is. It's the people that did Little Big Planet 3. I can't think of their name right now. The developer of that's had it for 4 years, and they just took it away from them, and they're going to THQ Nordic's going to handle it in-house with one of their studios. And the people who have been developing made a statement, said this was always part of the plan. I'm like,
no, it wasn't.
Doesn't it make any sense at all? Like, the plan was for you to work on it for 4 years and then give it to another team?
Yeah.
Digital Sumo, is that right?
It's like, come on. Just be fucking honest.
Yeah, like this movie is in trouble.
Don't treat me like I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I read that comment and I was like, get out of here. This was not part of the plan. We're going to work on it for 4 years and not release it was part of the plan?
Yeah. Because that's what everybody. That's how you make money, is by wasting 4 years.
Yeah, which they got paid, so they probably don't care. But this was not part of the plan. This movie is fucked. The best thing PlayStation could do right now is say this movie is fucked. We're not giving up on it, but we are going to start over because this movie is fucked.
Right.
To be honest with you, they should scrap the whole project, start over, and use Nathan Fillion because people want him to be Nate Drake.
Right.
Just do it and salvage whatever's left of whatever it is you're trying to do.
Yeah. Because at this point, if all of this keeps happening, you're just gonna run the Uncharted name into the ground. You're not helping that franchise at all.
What were you saying, Gerald? Yeah. Yeah, he's saying make it a TV show. So that's what they're doing with Twisted Metal. We'll see how that works.
Because that's.
I have said I think Uncharted would play better as a TV show. I think it would have a real Burn Notice feel to it.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think that it would work better that way as well. I also think you can keep the budget down by turning it into a TV show versus a movie, because
I think you could. Plus, you can get into the whatever of the week type.
A little Tom Holland, not a cheap get.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to pay.
I don't know that we need Tom Holland either, but
pay up, sucker. What I'm saying is the movie. They're also hell bent on having him be Nate Drake.
Yeah,
so
they sure are.
It's gonna be
because he's the star now with Spider-Man. Which
it's okay to have something, Sony, and not have to have all the things.
Right.
You don't have to put him in everything.
Exactly.
He's an okay Spider-Man. I don't disagree. But I would argue that Sony's biggest Spider-Man movie, especially critically, was the Spider-Verse, not any of the actual
Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man, it was a good movie. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I've heard that critically everywhere. Everyone's like, this is the best Spider-Man Sony's ever made.
It was. It was very good.
I also don't hate the Tobey Maguire movies like everybody else. So
I don't hate to tell you. I like the first one, and the second one is probably one of the best live-action Spider-Man movies. Yeah. The third one wasn't great.
Which one has the weird dance scene in it?
That's the third one.
That's maybe not ideal. That's maybe less than ideal than my Spider-Man movie.
That's the one that's not great.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next story. This one I was going to spend more time on it, but we're running a little long.
Okay.
Basically, it has come to light that your Xbox might have been listening when you didn't realize it through the Kinect. And it's probably not that you didn't realize that it was listening. You didn't realize that there was a human on the other end listening to it. Right. So, there's a report by Motherboard, which has revealed that audio from Xbox One user was sometimes triggered and recorded by mistake when contractors were working to improve the console's voice command functions. So, This is bad. This is not ideal. This is what people are scared of.
Right. This is the fears people have.
It was only meant to capture audio following commands like Xbox or Hey Cortana. But in the example of the contractors working on behalf of Microsoft team, listen to audio captured by several of the other companies' products. So this is not the first time this has happened. Same problem with Skype calls and virtual assistant Cortana. Mm-hmm. Xbox commands first were part of... let me make sure I get this right here. So most of the Xbox-related stuff, this is from a contractor I can recall, is obviously unintentional activities with people telling Cortana no, obviously in the middle of a game, with normal game chat. The problem is, though, these people weren't addressing their Xbox.
Right.
So maybe they just heard Dan playing Sea of Thieves. The problem is Dan didn't ask for them to hear him playing Sea of Thieves.
Exactly.
And this probably leads to more than just this little old story here.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, everyone knows on here I'm all for the robot future.
Mm-hmm.
My house is listening to everything I say all the time. If you are one of those people who are drunk and thinks it only listens to you when you talk to it, you need to understand that it has to listen to you all the time to know if you're talking to it.
Right.
It's not complicated. It can't listen for buzzwords if it's not listening. There is a slider that lets you turn the mic off. Does it work? I don't know. I don't care. But I will say that I know that is listening all the time, where I did not know that my Kinect was listening all the time.
Right.
The Kinect was on the forefront of a lot of that. And, we didn't have the echoes and Google Homes in everyone's house like we do now. So, interesting to see where this goes. But I'm cool with it.
Woo.
Whoa, what happened?
Dog's not cool with it.
It sounded like an invasion of privacy bark to me. What do I know?
I don't know. Maybe somebody's here. Maybe I have a visitor. Maybe.
Apple Arcade, which is something we talked about way back at E3, or around the time of E3, it reportedly will cost $5 a month. So I think it's a really good deal. We first learned about it back in March, so not E3. I was totally wrong on that. But the report's out there that it's going to cost $5 a month and give you access to upwards to 100 games at any given time.
And you can pay for it with your Apple credit card if you want. Don't forget that.
Yeah, you're just going to spend it right off your iTunes account, so you don't even have to. You don't even have to put anything in. Easy peasy. This is a good deal, and I'll probably take advantage of this.
Yeah, I know you probably will. I will not. I am not an Apple guy. I'm going to say that again.
I like to play
on any Apple anything
on my phone sometimes, and I don't like to buy games, which means I am stuck playing shitty free-to-play games.
Mm-hmm.
And I would gladly give them $5 a month if they will handpick a list of games I can actually play. So I think this is probably going to work out good for me. It's just Games Pass on your phone.
Right.
So if you have it, you're interested, reports are it's going to cost $5. It's launching shortly, so get your money ready.
So go all you Apple heads.
Yep, 100-plus games. It looks like they have announced Oceanhorn 2. Sonic Team Racing will be on the platform, so who knows what else.
Where Cards Fall, whatever that is.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Where Cards Fall. I probably won't play that one. I don't like card games.
Where Cards Fall. Maybe it's not a card game.
It's for sure a card game. It says cards right in it. It's a card game.
Fair enough.
Producer Gerald's going to check, but I bet it's a card game. It's like a Hearthstone clone, a shitty Hearthstone clone.
It's probably not a Hearthstone.
It doesn't look like it at all. It doesn't look like a card game at all. Looks like a platformer. I'm back in.
Yeah, it's some kind of platformer.
Speaking of
platformer,
have you seen Ancestor or whatever that game's out there on PC?
No.
I really want to play that game. I need it to come to PS4. It's apparently super bizarre. You play as a monkey.
Oh, that sounds right up your alley.
Yeah, I'm into it. That's going to do it for the news. Let's shift over to the shout-outs. Remember, if you want to shout out, head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch. Support us at $10 tier over there, just like our friends Zach and Thomas did.
Yes.
I don't believe either of them shot me any sort of shout-out this week.
I did not get one either.
Look at that monkey.
I see that monkey.
I'm into that game. Also, don't write in and tell me it's an ape, okay? I don't know the difference or care. So for this conversation, it's a monkey. So no shout outs this week, but we're going to give them a shout out because you know what? They earned it. They were just busy, probably didn't have time. Thomas is on holiday right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean he's traveled away, but he finally got a much needed break from work. Him and I have been diligently texting back and forth about SnowRunner, maybe the biggest announcement yet, which is a new game in the Spin Tire series, much like Mud Runners, but in the snow, and it looks so good.
It's right up your alley.
I am jazzed up about it. So we've been communicating back and forth about SnowRunner, something we're both passionate about. So I'm excited about that.
I also noticed he's put in a considerable amount of time on Sniper Elite 4.
Sniper Elite 4, playing a lot of Call of Duty. He was very jazzed up about playing the Modern Warfare Alpha Beta. So, yeah. Ancestors coming out this year, Producer Gerald says.
Oh.
I'm jazzed up.
I know you are. You're super excited. Can't
now,
wait
do you
till
think
December.
that game's better or worse than Life of Black Tiger? just off of this right here. Okay.
It's got to be better. It'd be hard not. Oh, it doesn't necessarily look a whole lot better though.
You know what he's got a trailer playing. You know what this reminds me of?
Oh man,
Troll and I. It's a Private Division game as well.
Yeah.
Private Division is Ubisoft. Right?
I think so.
What did I say earlier about Take-Two? Did I say Private Division then also?
Yes, I think you did.
That's not correct.
I believe they're a French studio that is a part of Ubisoft.
Yeah, Private Division is. That guy is the creator of Something Else That Matters.
Man, I'm definitely getting the Life of Black Tiger vibe out of this. Holy crap. I don't know.
So what is this? Private Division?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Is that what I just said?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get this right because it's not. I want to make sure I get these two labels. I've got them mixed up. No, it's Private Division. So maybe I don't know what Ubisoft's is called. Private Division is Take-Two's.
Oh, okay.
That game. Look at that jump. Look at that monkey swing.
I see that. That's an 8, by the way.
I told you for the purposes of this conversation.
I could not. Sorry,
it's a monkey.
I had to.
I want to see. This is It's called Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey. I want to be clear on that.
Yes.
I'm looking for. Oh, so he is the creator of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yes. Okay.
The creator of Ancestors. He started his own
studio.
First game since Brotherhood. I don't know if he's the creator or probably just the director, but this game it looks like something. It looks like a game.
It does look like a game. It's got you super interested.
So Thomas's shout out was for SnowRunners. Zach's shout out is going to be a little different because I didn't have any communication with him.
I did not either this week.
So I think he's excited for Kerbal Space Program too.
Fair enough.
Now I'm interested to see what they do with the mod scene because mods are important to Kerbal and PS4 didn't have any.
Right.
So I'm interested to see what they do with that. I'm interested. That game has to be more accessible to sell more, but part of what makes it so interesting and neat to watch and watch people stream is that it's not accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a fine line that they have to walk. But anyways, Zach's pretty jazzed up about Kerbal.
So we've decided anyway.
Yep, basing that off of nothing. What is this? What do you have up here? Snowbird? What is this?
SnowRunner.
Snow Bros Run. Look at that. Yeah, look at SnowRunner. It looks good.
Snow Bros Run.
Look how good that looks.
I'm not into that, though.
For anybody that wants to shit on Mud Runners, you don't have to enjoy the game, but you cannot argue that the game looks phenomenal.
It does look good. I'll give you that.
And SnowRunners will look as good. So that's it for the news. That's it for shout-outs. Remember, shout-outs, patreon.com/Gamestitch. Support us at the $10 tier, and you can get your very own shout-out.
Sure can.
Also, in all seriousness, we love both of you. Thomas, enjoy your time off. You have 14 days, I think. And
Ooh,
you should
nice.
You should take every second of that to not think about work.
And not do work, if you can help it.
Yeah. And, Zach, I hope you have time off.
Yes.
Happening or coming. Look at that game. All right. If you want to follow us on social medias, I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. Gerald is at Hoffen Show. Spelled like it sounds. If you want to find us on there, all of us together are at Game_Stitch. You should follow us there. Because that's what people do on the internet, I guess.
That's what I've heard.
Yep. You should follow us there if you want to follow us there. If you don't want to follow us there, you should tell your...
You should tell everybody.
Maybe your... what are those people that handle traffic when you want to crossing guard?
Crossing guards?
What are they called? Is that
what you're going for? Yeah, what? Crossing guards.
They don't have a different name?
Traffic patrol?
Yeah, tell your traffic patrol officer. That's definitely
better?
not what... No, that's not what they're called at all. Tell your traffic patrol officer about us. He's like, come on through. You're like, hey, check out this show. He's like, come on through. You're like, no, it's on Apple Podcasts. It's on the Google Play Store. You can listen on Stitcher. He's like, come on through or I'll have you arrested. Why are you being aggressive? Which is always...
always helps when you're dealing with any sort of patrol.
Yeah. Why are you being aggressive? When someone's on the beat. I think is what they call that when they're in the streets.
That's
going to do it for us. 3, 4, 5 in the books.
3, 4, 5.
Powerful episode 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
That's never going to happen again.
Nope.
Much like every week.
We might get to a 4, 5, 6 at some point, though.
Woo! I don't even know what to do with myself. I'll try to remind me that it's happening. Because this one caught me off guard.
I'll remind you.
Maybe it should be episode 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. Maybe that should be the name of it.
Sure. You can name it whatever you want.
It's true. I can name it. I can name it whatever I want. I can name it. What's happening? Gerald wants us to go with allergies and itching. What if we call it Scratch Your Itch? Because some people like itch your scratch and some people like scratch your itch, and you can use them universally like that.
Yes.
Universally is the wrong word. You can move them in and out as you see fit.
You can't itch your scratch.
You can scratch your itch, too.
You can scratch your itch. You cannot itch your scratch.
You can itch that scratch.
No, an itch is a feeling. A scratch is what you do to relieve said feeling.
You can itch that scratch.
All right. Good night.
This has been 3, 4, 5. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Good night.
Good night.